Microsoft, these are all day-to-day household companies now they have become, to your major Bank of America and all who are setting up their global capability centers. Another good thing, see now with global capability center, what's happening is our workforce is moving up the value chain. If you look at 10 years or 15 years before when this entire IT boom started, right, that time we were doing mainly the outsourcing BPO type of works. That is call center handling, taxation filing for American companies and their clients. Now we have moved to more upstream value, that is tech development. Lot of tech development for these companies are now happening out of these centers. R&D development is happening. In fact, major office I would say management sort of thing is happening from here. So how they say China is the factory of the world, right? Everybody talks about the manufacturing success of China, how almost everything in the world gets manufactured out of China. India is now becoming the office of the world. All the major corporates across different geographies, particularly West, that is America and Europe, are setting up their offices and moving majority of their operations to India. In that, Hyderabad and Bangalore, one of the front-running cities. And this is what is happening in global capability centers. Even upstream activity like tech development and R&D development are happening. These are some of the top companies there. So I've broadly pulled out the data of, I would say, some of the well-known companies to give you an understanding of what has happened in recent timelines. I would say in the last 6 months to 1 year. All of us know TCS, one of the top IT recruiter in the country. They have leased million square foot, thereby looking at employing close to 10,000 people in their campus in financial district. Costco, which is to put it in perspective, America is one of the biggest supermarket company, right? They have opened their global capability center. Now all of us know McDonald's, it's very famous fast food giant. They have opened up their global capability center in Hyderabad. So these are all, they have given the estimates of what people they're looking to hire in the immediate 1 to 2 year period. And in the long term, they have given a projection for more employment. Right? So Microsoft has actually recently leased some square foot. In fact, that rent became one of the top rent in the whole ecosystem, actually, not just in Hyderabad. They signed a rental lease of close to 250 rupees per SFT. Recently, I think it's 1 month back, ayindi. And Apple has recently leased. They're expanding their R&D center out of Hyderabad. And then Qualcomm, these are all, I think Qualcomm is a chip, on a phone lo chips tayar jese company. Next slide. Right, so this is all the things from a IT office space standpoint, the sort of companies which are coming in also. It's not like any ordinary companies are coming in. Of course, there are a lot of room. We have small and medium scale IT companies also operating, but mainly these neighborhoods are being taken up by the large scale big tech companies, what we call. And Hyderabad mein, another way what's happening also is that majority of the IT agglomeration, right, or IT leasing is happening mainly in the west of Hyderabad. Right? If you look broadly the way how our city is sort of generating employment, you have IT on the west of Hyderabad, mainly in two neighborhoods, Raidurg and Financial District, right, which is where your entire 12 to 13 million of square foot is getting leased. Then in the north, we are also the pharma capital of India and probably one of the top 5 to 7 pharma clusters in the world, right, which is where your Genome Valley and the north of Hyderabad. So north of Hyderabad is where most of your manufacturing industries are sort of positioning and built up facilities. That is the north. So manufacturing, you can take it like a mid-tech manufacturing. Pharma is like a mid-tech manufacturing. And then on the south of Hyderabad, in the Kongar Kalan area and all of that, you have high-tech manufacturing like electronics and all, which are being manufactured out of your south of Hyderabad. In fact, Foxconn has recently opened their facility phase 1, in which they are employing close to 20,000 people. Once the entire facility will be handed over in 28, they will be employing 1 lakh people only in one compound, manufacturing electronics, right, which will be exported. And in that entire ecosystem, government is, along with the fourth city, they are planning for an employment generation of almost 3 lakh in the fourth city and another 2 lakh from this Kongar Kalan area. So 5 lakh employment base will be getting created in the south of Hyderabad. So you have west, you have IT, north, you have mid-tech manufacturing, and south, you have high-tech manufacturing, which is mainly electronics-based manufacturing. So many times it gets discussed that is the sort of job generation more concentrated in Hyderabad? No, it's spread out on north, west, and the south. So these are the things from an employment or a job generation standpoint, what's happening in Hyderabad. Next, let's talk about the social infra, something very, very important, because again, if companies have to come and set up their offices, then you need employees who can come and work there. If the employees are not coming, then companies will not be able to set up their offices. So when people come and work, what are the facilities that micro market or neighborhood is offering? Mainly, as I mentioned earlier, transportation is a very important thing. After that comes everything got to do with the water infrastructure. Again, in India, water infrastructure is very, very important. So how are we doing with respect to water infrastructure? So presently our water supply is 2,080 million liters per day. And if you look in the next 2 to 3 years, we are going to take it up from 550 MGD to 835 MGD. Almost 60% improvement is what government works are in pipeline. They are doing the Godavari phase 1 water connection to the city. So that is going to improve the water availability. And next is one very important thing, because of all these infrastructure things which are continuously being taken in Hyderabad, the per capita availability of water, per capita supply of water is very, very high, which is 150 liters per person per day. This is a high per capita availability of water. So naturally, this will keep us much more resilient to drought conditions. Again, I'm not saying that droughts will never come. It will come. It's sort of not totally in our hand, but we can manage it much, much better compared to our competing cities. So in terms of water, Hyderabad has been doing relatively much, much better. In fact, in terms of water pipeline, right, the coverage of ground area by the water pipeline, Hyderabad has almost 80% better metrics than Bangalore. Recently it was, I think, 3-4 months back, it was released in TOI also. We'll share the data. But yeah, water is a very, very important aspect from a social infra standpoint. Next, if you look at financial district, another, again, because there are many offices, there will be many people who will be staying in that area. This area has 15 schools. Again, a neighborhood with one of the highest concentration of schools. 15 schools is what we have. We have from CBSE to international schools, something which caters to the aspiration of people living in the neighborhood. Right? Next. Yeah, so slowly, financial district is even becoming the entertainment capital of Hyderabad. Within Hyderabad is the capital of Telangana. If you look in Hyderabad, financial district is even becoming, it is already the office capital, now it's becoming the entertainment capital also. Now to attract global scale talent, we need to have facilities which are also global scale, and that is not just offices and housing, it's even entertainment spaces like your restaurants, your malls and all of that. So we have 20 plus F&B spaces which are set up in financial district, and many more are actually planned in this neighborhood. In fact, if you look at some of these facilities, they're probably one of the biggest centers in the country only. They have 30,000, 40,000 square feet of F&B space under a single compound. So those are very, very large sizes, which is showing to the sort of demand which is sort of projected in this area in the next years to come by. Right? Next. So now all of these things, you have high density of offices, you have high density of you have a lot of housing, you have a lot of F&B, a lot of schools. So all of this is eventually going to make this micro market walkable, right? Which we feel at ASBL is the most important aspect of managing traffic conditions, is that you give less reason to take the car out only. If people are staying within 1 kilometer radius of their office, if the school is in 1 kilometer of their office, if the restaurants and all are in their 1.5 kilometer of their office, then we can push the neighborhood towards walkability. Now, of course, here some aspects have to be done where we're working with policymakers also, and presenting the view case is that let's increase the footpath size. If you look, one thing across the country, what we see is our footpath sizes are really small, because of which the conditions are not safe for pedestrians to walk, especially when everything is in the neighborhood. See, if things are far away, then I need to remove my car, which is adding to the traffic jam. But if things are close, if the office building is right across my road, I should be able to walk. Thereby, I don't need to remove my car from the garage. So walkability is something which we feel is totally, all the conditions exist for walkability in financial district. That's what makes this neighborhood another major I would say, major boost it would give. But we have to sort of make more room in policy to allow more walkability. Maybe we can reduce the road ka one lane and make it walkable, right? Because now roads are all laid out, and good thing here is most of the roads here are all 6-lane roads, 100 feet roads, right? So space is there. Maybe we can sort of reduce one lane and increase the walkability, make a bigger footpath so that people can walk more. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah, so like especially with our project Loft, in 400 meters, we have the Prestige Skytech IT Park, right? In another 200 meters, next slide, we have the Kalyani Tech Park. So I'm just to explain how walkability works. Now for people who are staying in these communities, we have 2-3 other communities there. In between these two IT parks, there are 2 million is the size of each of this IT park. Matlab in both these IT parks combined, it's 4 million square feet of leasing space in which 40,000 people will be working. Almost combined in between both of these buildings, it's 80% leased out. 40,000 people will be working in that space. They can simply, those who are staying here can simply walk there. So that's how walkability is going. Imagine now this community has 900 apartments, out of which let's say even 20% are staying in that building. That is 200 people. So 200 less cars on the street. That is how most major cities, particularly the European cities, which are ranking very well from a livability standpoint, the way they were able to tackle the traffic problem is by improving walkability. Right? So walkability, generally metros and all, public transport gets spoken about, gets a lot of attention from reducing the traffic. But an even more important thing according to us is walkable, because this neighborhood has everything. There is no reason for people to, remove their car out and travel for small things like, going to your, for things like going to your office or going to your groceries. None of that is required. Everything is available in the neighborhood. You walk for 10 minutes, you have your groceries, you walk for 10 minutes, you have schools, offices, and restaurants. So this way, this micro market can have lesser traffic load onto the road, which is very, very important, and what we think is going to, the next, as you can see, people are losing hours of time on traffic, and this is all productive time. At the same time, they can spend with their families or in upskilling themselves and getting a promotion. They can use the time however they want. So living in these neighborhoods adds that extra comfort which one can achieve in their lives. Next. Yeah, now let us, all these 4 things put together, right? Connectivity, offices, availability of social infra, walkability, all of that, what it has made is, it has made the financial district a sort of a residential hotspot, not just from an end-use perspective, but even from a rental perspective. I'll share some of the data and statistics also what we have pulled out from online portals, right? So people who are investing in these areas from a rental standpoint, on an average, are earning very good rental return of close to 5% rental yield, which is very, very high when it comes to resi. So we have pulled out this data from Common Floor and all of these listing portals. So that has a lot of wide amount of data. So if you look in all of this, naturally this gives a rental sort of expectation for each of those sizes in each of that micro market. As you can see very clearly here, financial district is dominating this particular aspect of rental returns. And again, when it comes to rental, people are looking at, basically who are the people who are staying for rental is newly married families. Newly married families who have not yet conceived children are the people who are consuming this asset, and who are the people who are investing in rental are people who want to make supplemental income. That is, they are looking to retire in the next 7 to 10 years, so they're planning to develop an alternate income. Those are the people who are investing in this rental assets. And if done well, that is, if the sizing and the product, if they choose well, they are looking at earning approximately 50 rupees per SFT of rent in a housing, which is very, very sort of a unheard of thing. But yeah, that's what the data and the stats are pointing out. But again, when somebody wants to earn such high rentals, walkability is becoming very, 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 very important. Now, you can have projects within the same neighborhood, but if they're on the other side of the ORR, then you can't walk. You have to bring out your car. So in whichever select few properties, again, there are not many properties like that, very few, the supply for such walkable properties from a rental angle are very, very niche and very less. But yeah, in such properties, if you sort of locate it well, location becomes ever more important. That specific location, you need to evaluate from a walkability standpoint. That is, people who are staying here, can they walk to their office literally? If they can, then that gets an extra premium. Right? So if you do that, you can get a 50 rupee rental expectation can be set up in the 1700 to 1800 square feet apartment zone. Naturally, as apartment size increases, your rental yield decreases. Matlab, you might earn 1 lakh rent, but if you're doing it on a 2500 square foot, your rent per SFT comes down. Earning 85,000 in a 1700 or 1800 square foot, you'll earn a much more rent per SFT. So people have to look at yield from a rent per SFT, because that is what will give you an ROI. Right? So we have even jotted down a sort of a vis-a-vis comparison between people buying in commercial spaces for rent and buying in residential spaces for rent. So a lot of the time we used to look at our older generations, our parents' generation or our brothers' generation, all of them for rental yield, they used to invest in commercial properties. Right now, the problem what's happening with investing at a retail level, at an individual level in commercial properties is, first and foremost, what's happening, the entire floor plate is undivided. Let's say there is a 50,000 square feet of office space, right? Somebody is going and purchasing 1,000 square feet. That 1,000 square feet cannot be demarcated. If it's demarcated, then it becomes ever more impossible to put it on lease, because the leasing is done by a centralized agency at a building scale. So while investing in commercial, one big disadvantage is being there is no ownership of your particular space which you are buying. Next thing, when you want to exit, when you want to sell and exit, it's very difficult for an outsider to come and give you an exit, because again, it's a joint ownership property. So it's most of the time what happens is with sufficient, it takes a long amount of time, but eventually somebody part of that I would say part of that group only ends up buying. So the transferability is not very convenient. And next, the rental is not in your direct control. Actually, it can't be done, because when you're leasing to offices, it will be offices, it will be an IP, like an intermediary brokerage companies or agency companies which will be doing the leasing. So they will be having the power over the rental. It will not be at an individual scale, you will not be having any control over what is the rent you get to choose from. Whereas in residential, again, this is only in few select pockets where there's good employment generation and there's walkability. There, naturally, residential leasing is in your direct control. It's your flat. You get to decide how much rent you want to give it to and to whom you want to give it to. You get to decide that. Next, the property is demarcated. In this case, it's your flat. You have the ownership of your flat clearly established, so it's a demarcated property. Hence, exiting or selling it is a lot easier. You have to just sell your flat compared to commercial sort of situation there. And another thing also what's happening in commercial buildings is, especially in properties where you have multiple owners, right? Those buildings are not the first priority for all large IT companies, because what's happening is they don't want to deal with multiple tenants, especially when there is a capex problem. What is the capex problem? Let's say today a large company has signed a rent with one of the floor which has like 50 owners, let's assume, and there was one sort of agent who did this deal. Let's say that happened. Now after 4 years, the company is requesting to do some capex. Let us make the lobby better, or the lift got spoiled, so put a new lift. What is happening in that time? The owners, which is these 50 people, has to invest money to upgrade the lift, right? What we call capex. It could be to upgrade the lift, or maybe make the lobby better, or make some improvisations, renovations to the building. In that cases, it's becoming a very big challenge sourcing money from these people. So hence, large corporates have lost appetite to lease from multi-ownership properties. They want to deal with properties which have 1 or 2 owners, not more than that. So that is being seen as a major preference. That's why you see buildings which have single ownership, 1 or 2 ownership, are performing at not only 50, they are performing at a much higher rental than buildings which have lot of owners, and they're even getting leased. And in fact, there's hardly any supply of those buildings actually. So these are all some of the tilt in market conditions which has happened when investing between residential and commercial. So this is how from a rental standpoint that location is doing. So yeah, so that's it from my side. So I wanted to talk about financial district from a framework standpoint, mainly the connectivity, the nearby employment generation, that is the offices which have been coming up, then the Pura social infra situation, particularly schools and F&B centers, and then sort of, this entire thing around rental comparison, how rents are behaving in the neighborhood. So a little bit about us. We are ASBL, so we build housing. So we are into apartment building. Currently, this is our project Loft, which is in this vicinity. And it's almost 60% done. So we'll be handing over it in December 2026. Right? So that's it from my side. Anything else we have? Done? Okay. So yeah. Can we take Q&As? So Loft వచ్చేసండి it's 894 apartments. The sizes are 1700 square foot 3 BHK apartments and 1900 square feet 3 BHK apartments. Right? Almost work is 60% done. There are 2 towers. Both the towers are approximately 30 floors done. It's 45 floors totally. So December 2026 we will be handing over this project. And again, it comes with all latest amenities. Like it has a 5,000 square feet co-working space. Because most of the people here, as you can see, are all surrounded with large-scale IT companies. And if you see these days, work from home is something which is prominent thing. People are doing once or twice a day. So we have given 5,000 square feet of co-working space in this. And again, a lot of people who are sort of planning to stay here, we have seen that are very new parents. That is, their age group is 35. So we have given close to 5,000 square feet of creche also, right beside the co-working space. The idea was the mother can drop the kid at the creche and work in the co-working space in the immediate building. And she can go back in case the child needs her. That was the idea. So yeah, so this is a little bit about Project Loft. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. You can give the mic there.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. So Project Loft, we have seen so many projects coming in financial district. So how do you see that kind of competition and how unique are you from the other sellers?
Okay.
Because everybody says that they are the best. And how do you differentiate it?
See, 2-3 things, ma'am. That's a good question, actually. So everybody now knows in real estate that location is the most important thing, right? Now, we can't even be called a builder if we get the location wrong. So location is paramount, the most important thing. But the thing which is now evolving, which is now emerging, is not location. It's product market fit. You will keep hearing this terminology more in the startup industry. Right? So what is this product market fit? Product market fit is, okay, what is for that market condition there? Who is the buyer? Right? What product they need? And is there a undersupply or oversupply of that product? That becomes very, very important. So one key way how we differ is in our product market research. If you look at Loft, this is the only project which is in the 1700 and 1900 square foot segment, right? Making it a very undersupplied inventory in that micro market. If you look at most of that micro market is around 3,000 square feet and above. Now, most of the people, I've spoken about so much jobs which are being generated. Now, most of the jobs which get generated at what? Like if you look at the top 30% of the jobs, they get generated at roughly 24 lakhs to 30 lakh package per annum. Now, people who are earning 30 lakhs package per annum, they cannot afford like a 3,000 square feet or a 4,000 square feet. So we have particularly designed it for them. So, and this inventory size is not available in financial district, especially after 2021, no launches have come up here. So this is what we call product market fit, and that is ASBL's one key unique differentiation. And rest I have mentioned you how we are studying our customers. Like we have realized that a lot of our customers here are new families, right? That is, they have 43% of them have a 0 to 4 year kid in their family. So that is when we came up with a, generally if you look at creche, many communities give, but it's some 1,000 square feet given in some corner of the building. We have given 5,000 square feet right on the podium floor. And right beside it, we have given a co-working space because the mother can work and look after her child. So this is how we tend to be different. So I would coin it simply the product market fit, right? Thank you. Yes, sir.
You mentioned about
number of hours people are losing because getting stuck in traffic jams, particularly in cars.
That is per month or
Per annum.
Per annum 129 hours.
129 is Bangalore. Hyderabad is 85, the least in all the metros. Right?
Then how much you are charging for SFT?
Per SFT year, sir, we are charging around 11,000 rupees, sir.
Yeah?
Loft, 11,000 rupees per SFT. So roughly your 3 BHK is going to cost you around 1.85 crores. Yes, sir. Again, sub 2 lakhs, sub 2 crores, which is where majority of the employment is going to come around. So we are planning our inventory purely studying the employment generation which is going to happen in the neighborhood. Yes, sir.
సెకండ్ నుంచి జిఎస్టీ రేట్స్ తగ్గబోతున్నాయి కదా,
అవును సార్.
ప్రైసెస్ ఏమన్నా రియల్ ఎస్టేట్లో తగ్గబోతున్నాయా?
Sir, definitely, see, this has to be studied little bit more carefully. There will be some change in prices. Again, if you look something like steel, see, major cost item in real estate is steel. Steel GST has remained the same 18%. Cement is one major thing which from 28% has come to 18%. Right? So we are also studying how much impact it is going to have, because some materials have been moved from 5 to 18% also. Holistically, however, we do see that 2 to 2.5% net GST expenditure taggutundi, right? Which we will have to see how to sort of give it back to the customers in future projects. Existing project, let's say you already purchased in the past. For you, I sold at higher price. Next person, I can't sell at lower price. You will get angry. Your property price will come down. Existing projects, I don't think there will be any sort of a thing. And existing projects like this are 60% built to. So cost is also already borne, right? But projects which are newly going to be launched, we will be seeing what sort of cost benefit the builder is getting, whether we will change it in the price or upgrade the product. Product ni kuda upgrade cheyochu. Generally what we'll do is we'll upgrade the product, because we can't reduce the price in any particular area. It doesn't work that way. I mean, property price taggudda area which will sort of erode consumer sentiment. So we will upgrade the product in future projects to come by. That is how we are looking at ASBL. But nevertheless, we'll have to study it much more. But yeah, in newer projects, one can see some benefits of this.
Sir, how many floors it is?
It is 45 floors, sir.
G plus 45.
Yes, G plus 45.
The real estate sector as such has not come out of the woods yet.
Sorry?
So the
Come out
real
of the
estate-
woods yet?
Yeah.
Huh.
So how sustainable and profitable are all these projects going to be? We see new projects coming up. The old ones are also still going on. So how sustainable or profitable are these for you?
See, for that, let's understand the market cyclicality and market demand cycles. So Hyderabad, on an average, is absorbing close to 50,000 units a year in the organized sector. Right? That's our consumption. Now, last year we have seen a lot of demand correction, right? So roughly, I think we are generating at 65 to 70,000 apartments are what are coming up for new approvals and all. So again, these are coming across the city. At an aggregate level, there is a supply-demand mismatch. But if you look at a very particular instance, that is in a particular neighborhood, a particular product category, there is a huge undersupply of certain inventory. Like for example, you look at financial district. Now you've seen the data, the number of jobs which are coming. Now naturally, most of the jobs which will come in the range of people earning somewhere around 1 to 2 lakhs. Those who are 5+ years experience. For more like freshers, they get jobs somewhere in the range of 50,000 to 75,000. Right? If somebody is 5+ years experience, they get like 1 to 2 lakhs, and 10 years experience, that is roughly they are earning around 3 to 4 lakhs a month in these areas. Now, if you look at the number of jobs which are getting generated at each of the income bracket, and you see the sizing of the apartments, that is how you need to do your planning. So for 1,700 and 1,900 square foot, like that is purely for the first time home buyer and somebody in their 30s, right? There is no supply of inventory in financial district. So at a market aggregate level, you have an excess supply and demand supply mismatch. But in a particular micro market, particular inventory category, which is what you're selling, you have to, if you design and plan well, that is if you get the product market fit well, you will be designing a excess demand product. So that's how we see it. So I think real estate, again, a lot of real estate in the past has been around location. Now, location is mandatory. You can't go wrong with your location. That is, we can't be called a builder if you get a wrong location. But now it is product market fit. Where is the economy generating jobs? What is the supply for that? And which particular category ke liye the supply is more, the supply is less. If you plan it well, then there is always a lot of opportunities which one can go after. And that's how we see it as ASBL. Right? Thank you. Yes, ma'am. As a developer, we are acting in the cradle of the city. The city does well, we do well. And whatever are the great advantages of the city, I believe we need to put it forward. So that has been my belief system, and hence, I've been talking and building the narrative in that one, because Hyderabad has got some amazing things. As I mentioned, from an urban infrastructure standpoint, we are absolutely the number one in the country on various parameters. But sometimes what happens is it might not be spoken out that much, or it might be taking a back seat. Thereby, consumers might not really remember what the city has advantages. Why is Hyderabad? Why so many companies are setting up their offices here? So we felt that voice share was low, and I wanted to talk in that line. So that's why we have done it. So it was purely in the lines of Hyderabad. Naturally, as we have seen more, it will help our business also. Thank you.
Sir, how much money you put in this project?
Loft floor, sir, we purchased land, which we purchased the land. It's not a joint development. Sorry? 5 acres, and 5 acres. We purchased for approximately 250 crores. And then we put in another 250 crores for the OPEX cycle. So close to 500 crores is what we have invested in this project. It has a top line of 1600 crores. And we have almost done in the last 2 years, and then the project launch JC. We have done 1,000 crores of sales already completed in this project. So another 600 crores of top line to achieve.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hi,
Yeah.
sir.
Hi.
Sir, many developers face criticism and around the delivery
Many
time.
who, sorry?
Many developers face criticism around the delivery timelines and transparency. So, how does the ASBL ensure the trust and credibility within the customers regarding the delivery timeline?
Good question, Andy. So we have been the first builder from Hyderabad who on a monthly basis started putting every project construction video on YouTube. In fact, if you go, I would recommend any of you are interested, you can go check out our YouTube channel, ASBL India. You'll see these YouTube videos from 2021 December nunchi. So it's not like 1 month that we have done. Every month from 2021 December of every of our project, we have put monthly construction video. Because see, a lot of our customers are NRIs also. Good number of people who purchase with us are NRIs. Particularly problem my NRI customer ఉంటుంది. సార్ నేను 2 కోట్లు పెట్టి ఫ్లాట్ కొంటున్నాను, మీరు టైంకి ఇస్తారా ఇవ్వకపోతే ఎట్లా? అండ్ ఇట్స్ నాట్ లైక్ ఇప్పుడు 3 years 4 years హ్యాండ్ ఓవర్ అంటే ఫైనల్లీ 4th year వచ్చి కాలేదు అంటే మేము మళ్ళీ పర్సన్ అవుతాం కదా. Day 1 నుంచే నాకేమైనా తెలుస్తుందని. సో అట్లకెళ్ళి మాకు వచ్చిన ఐడియా. సో 2021 December నుంచి all the projects which we have done, every month we take a 2-minute, 3-minute video with a drone and put it out there. So that is the best medium to sort of bridge the trust gap. And next, from a construction delivery standpoint, I think in this day and age, it's very, very important we do financial closure. Chala salu generally, if you look at real estate projects, etla avutadante when we get in when a builder gets a site, then as sales happen, they rely on sales purely to build. We don't do that. In fact, not only us, now a good number of organized builders are also relying on that. Now the industry is maturing. One big thing of maturing is what? Okay, is that okay? We are doing financial closure. Okay, how much amount of money I need to have my equity? How much amount of debt I need to have? So that irrespective of sales, at least like 4 years project, 75% of the timeline I should be able to finance it out. So that is what we call financial closure. So all our projects are financially closed by major institutionally in the banks. I mean, institutional financial lenders is what we work with, like Motilal Oswal, Bajaj Housing Finance, right, Kotak. So these are all the major companies with whom we work with on our projects. So we do financial closure and do it. Kabatti, we don't really need the money from our sales to keep building. Of course, we want to sell because it's our job to sell and run our business. But even if we sell or we don't sell, we keep building. That's what it is. So all our projects have been given off on time, right? Yeah.
How many projects you have completed so far in Hyderabad?
So far, we have delivered around 2 million square feet. Totally, as a group, we are handling 10 million square feet.
All residential?
All residential. Approximately, that will translate into 5,000 apartments. Out of this 10 million square feet, 2 million square feet is totally handed over, got OC, it's in maintenance phase. Another 2 million square feet we have just launched 3 months back in Broadway. The balance 6 million square feet we have handover every year. Like this December, we have 2.5 million square feet handover. In this December. Next December again we have loft, which is 1.6 million. So roughly year nunchi, every year for the next 4 years, we'll be handing over 1,000 apartments. Rough ga matladte. So that is the size of ASBL. Yes, sir.
Sir, can you throw some more light on this? On amenities, and that is number one. And FSI is unlimited in Hyderabad. So is it causing stress in one particular area like western part?
First, I'll answer the second one, sir. just to be on the same page, FSI is not unlimited. We have a deregulated FSI. Let me tell what I mean by that. You will get high-rise buildings only if you are on a 100-feet road or a 6-lane road. If you look on major cities in the country, on 6-lane roads, the height permission generally given is also very high. If, let's say, in Hyderabad, your building is abutting a 40-feet road or 80-feet road. 40-feet road అయితే మీరు 9 floors or 7 floors height వరకు వెళ్ళగలుగుతారు. TDR వాడితే +2 floors వెళ్ళగలుగుతారు. మీరు అదే 80-feet రోడ్ మీద ఉన్నారనుకోండి, which is a 4-lane road, అక్కడ you can only go for 45-meter height, మతలబ్ 15 floors height building వరకు వెళ్ళగలుగుతారు. Only when you are on a 6-lane roads, 100-feet roads are 6-lane roads, 100-feet road మీద ఉంటేనే మీరు you can go for multi-storied. That is for 30 floors, 40 floors, 50 floors. And that too, airport restriction untundandi. Only కొన్ని areas లో airport restriction is up to 200-meter height, which is where we go for 50 floors. In a lot of the areas, if మీరు రాయదుర్గ్ అట్లా చూసిన అనుకోండి, though it has 100 feet, అక్కడైతే 8-lane roads ఉన్నాయి, but airport height is only 70 meter. And you can build only 25 floors. So we do not have unlimited FSI. We have a deregulated FSI. So this is one very, very important to understand. Next thing is, see how I see this policy is this is a good policy. So it's a very, very conventional thinking that we all think like if there's more density, there's more traffic. That's not true. Traffic is not related. In fact, let's look at America, right? If you look at most cities, most big cities in America, they have even more traffic jams. Their FSI usage is 0.5. Bangalore is at roughly, I'm saying the prime 100-feet road areas are Bangalore at around 5, Hyderabad around 10, America at 0.5, they have way more traffic than us. మీకు ఏమైపోతుందంటే when there is low FSI, everything is spread out. When everything is spread out, you have to put more pipeline, more road maintenance, everything. Then eventually in the long term, that maintenance bill would who will pay that? Ultimately, citizens has to pay from tax. Let us share a classic case of Detroit city. Very famous city because of Ford and the manufacturing companies. That city became bankrupt multiple times just to maintain its pipeline and road. Think about it this way. Miru, let's say, like you made one news, sir, which is going to come in the paper. Right, let's say the cost to make that news, like you have to go and attend all programs, it might cost you 10,000 rupees to make that. Now more number of people reading the news, the per capita cost comes down. So FSA is also same thing. Please understand, urban infrastructure is the biggest expenditure for governments after welfare. After welfare and irrigation tarvata, government's urban infrastructure, roads, pipelines, దీంట్ల మీద చాలా డబ్బు ఖర్చు పెడుతుంది. మనం ఒక రోడ్ వేసినప్పుడు ఎంతమంది వాడితే దాని ఖర్చు తగ్గుద్ది, ఎంత తక్కువ మంది వాడితే అంత ఎక్కువ ఖర్చు అవుద్ది. మెనీ పీపుల్ మిస్ దిస్ అబౌట్ FSI. సో లో FSI మీన్స్ మచ్ మోర్ స్ప్రెడ్ అవుట్ సిటీలో యూ థింక్ మచ్ లాంగర్ పైప్ లైన్స్ వేయడమో ఖర్చు, మళ్ళీ రిపేర్ చేయడమో ఖర్చు, మెయింటైన్ చేయడం అయితే ఒక్కసారి పైప్ లైన్ రోడ్ వేసినాం అనుకోండి, ఫర్ నెక్స్ట్ 30 years ఖర్చే కదండి. అది 30 కదా యాక్చువల్లీ, ఐ మీన్ మంచి బతికినంత కాలం ఖర్చే. దాని దగ్గర అది ఎంతమందిని సర్వ్ చేయగలిగితే అంత ఖర్చు తగ్గిపోద్ది. పర్ క్యాపిటా కాస్ట్ కమ్స్ డౌన్. సో మై బిలీఫ్ ఇస్ FSI is unregulated FSI is good, but definitely it will bring new challenges which we need to plan well. Like for example, because there is high FSI in this area, now there are more schools. అసలు ఇప్పుడు స్కూల్ ఒక ఏరియాలో స్కూల్ రావాలంటే లెట్స్ అక్కడ అపార్ట్మెంట్ లేవు అనుకోండి, స్కూల్స్ వచ్చి పెడతారు ఎవరన్నా? రారు. ఎందుకంటే వర్కౌట్ కాదు, బిజినెస్ వర్కౌట్ కాదు. ఆడ అపార్ట్మెంట్ లేవు అనుకోండి, ఎవరైనా సూపర్ మార్కెట్ పెడతారా? పెట్టారు. ఎందుకంటే బిజినెస్ వర్కౌట్ కాదు. సో మనకు అక్కడ స్కూల్ రావాలన్నా, బిజినెస్ సూపర్ మార్కెట్ రావాలన్నా, ఆర్ ఇవన్నీ రావాలంటే మనకి అపార్ట్మెంట్లు ఉండాలంటే ఆఫీసులు ఉండాలి. సో ఇవన్నీ ఎంత దగ్గర ఉంటే అంత బెటర్. నౌ ద థింగ్ ఇస్ హౌ డు వి ప్లాన్ ఫర్ కాన్సన్ట్రేషన్. సి ఎసెన్షియలీ అన్రెగ్యులేటెడ్ FSI అంటే యూఆర్ కాన్సన్ట్రేటెడ్. The way you plan for concentration is investing in walkability, not only public transport. Walkability also. Classic case is how Europe has done it. They have actually, if you look in various cities, Barcelona has been a case, they have removed roads and increased the footpaths. అంటే 4-lane రోడ్ ఉంటే 2-lane చేసి ఇంకో 2 lanes ఫుట్పాత్కి ఇచ్చేసిండ్రు. దాంతో ఆ ఏరియాలో రెస్టారెంట్స్ బిజినెస్ హెస్ గాన్ అప్ బై 40%. ఆ ఏరియాకి టూరిస్టులు రావడం పెరిగిపోయింది, రెసిడెన్షియల్ ప్రాపర్టీ ప్రైసెస్ పెరిగిపోయినాయి ఆ ఏరియాలో. ఇన్ఫ్యాక్ట్ ఆ రోడ్ తీసేటప్పుడు లాట్ ఆఫ్ రెస్టారెంట్ పీపుల్ వెళ్ళి గొడవ పెట్టింది, మీరు ఆ రోడ్ తీసేస్తే మా బిజినెస్ పడిపోద్దని. బిజినెస్ యాక్చువల్లీ ఇంక్రీజ్ 40%. So that is how the world is going towards walkability, and how you plan for high concentration is walkability. Example, classic case is Singapore. Most of Singapore parts are developed at 10 FSI, 10 to 12 FSI, because Singapore land kuda chala takkuva, right? But Singapore has exceptionally well designed walkability. You look at the footpaths and all the walk paths, very well designed apart from metro. Many people think it's only public transport like metro and buses, but no, they only solve a certain problem. The big last mile problem gets solved by walkability. So we all have to as citizens, we need to build awareness for walkability amongst our citizens, and we can reclaim some parts of our roads, especially the internal roads, towards enlarging footpaths. And ఇంకొక beauty with that also, మీకు ఇప్పుడు చాలా దగ్గరలో చూస్తే బికాస్ వీ డోంట్ హ్యావ్ మచ్ ఫుట్పాత్, వాట్ ఎవర్ రిమైనింగ్ స్పేస్ ఇస్ ఆల్సో దేర్, ఇట్ విల్ గెట్ ఆక్యుపైడ్ బై హాకర్స్. అక్కడ పాన్ కొట్టు వాళ్ళు ఎవరో ఒకరు పాపం పెట్టేసుకొని, బికాస్ వాళ్ళకైనా వాళ్ళ బిజినెస్ నడవాలి, లేకపోతే వాళ్ళ ఉపాధి ఏంటిది. ఎస్పెషల్లీ మైక్రో అండ్ స్మాల్ కంపెనీస్, micro and small companies ki we have to give them room. Other, if you make a bigger footpath, make them a stall there, you charge some rent 5,000 or something, they will set up a good stall, their business will run, and because the street has so many such services, more people will even come. So walkability is going to increase the economy, reduce the traffic, and keep the prices under check, right? Thank you, sir. Yeah. అందరికీ నమస్కారం అండి. ఈరోజు ప్రెస్ మీట్ మేము ఫైనాన్షియల్ డిస్ట్రిక్ట్ అనే మైక్రో మార్కెట్ మీద పెట్టడం జరిగింది. మేము ASBL అనే రియల్ ఎస్టేట్ సంస్థ. మేము అపార్ట్మెంట్లు కడుతుంటాము ఫైనాన్షియల్ డిస్ట్రిక్ట్ ఏరియాలో అండ్ హైదరాబాద్లో వేరియస్ సైట్స్. సో ఈరోజు ఫైనాన్షియల్ డిస్ట్రిక్ట్లో రాబోయే IT ఎంప్లాయ్మెంట్, దాని తర్వాత ట్రాన్స్పోర్టేషన్, దట్ ఈస్ మెట్రో గురించి, రోడ్స్ గురించి, తర్వాత సోషల్ ఇన్ఫ్రా గురించి, అండ్ దాని తర్వాత ఆ ఏరియాలో ఎట్లాంటి హౌసింగ్ ఫెసిలిటీస్ వస్తున్నాయని, అండ్ పర్టికులర్లీ ఒక రియల్ ఎస్టేట్ ఇన్వెస్టర్కి రెంటల్ పర్స్పెక్టివ్లో ఎట్లాంటి ఆపర్చునిటీస్ ఉంటాయి ఈ హౌసింగ్ స్పేస్లో అనే దాని మీద పెట్టడం జరిగింది. అండ్ ఇందులో అన్ని డీటెయిల్స్ కూడా మేము ప్రజెంట్ చేస్తాము. అండ్ థ్యాంక్ యూ.